Fine. Welcome to the San Antonio FC Fan Cast. I'm your host, Royce. We have a full diamond of cohorts and co-hosts here. Let's mix it up a little bit. First, let's go to second base. Rafa, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you today?
He's not the best in the business for nothing, folks. Let's go to first base. Robert, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm just happy that Harry finally showed up. We were waiting for a little bit there.
So peek behind the curtain. All three of us were in one room waiting on Harry. Meanwhile, Harry was in another one waiting on us. And Calamity. Harry's been tweeting. We're like, Harry's tweeting. You should be available, right? We got to figure it out. Oh boy, we're about as organized as pro referees in the San Diego and SAFC match. So, Harry, how have you been?
Last week was super crazy. Went to the match on Saturday. It was super crazy, and I'll just say it as that right now. Monica's birthday was yesterday, so happy birthday, Monica.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So she's still 28, 29, somewhere around there, I think. So no, it's been interesting. I'm all like, how the hell did that happen? Because I purposely deleted everything and it still copied the wrong link. But, I apologize. Like, so here I was like, damn, where the hell are they?
It's very funny. Very funny. It is what it is. We move.
So not a lot going on as far as outcoming, ingoing. Any rumor mill stuff before we get to the New Mexico match?
There's a pretty heavy rumor about the other league, but
it's not a rumor. It's well, I guess it's not officially signed.
Exactly until they take the picture of the jersey and everything. It's still technically a rumor, but it's a strong rumor. Obviously, Messi coming to the States, so.
But
next year,
Rafa, you're our Liga La Liga expert here. I almost said Liga MX. La Liga expert here. How big of an impact will that be for MLS? I know Royce, despises MLS. I tolerate it. It's fun to bitch about. I don't mind the clubs except for the one up the road a little bit, but to me, how big of an impact is it?
I think this is a big impact since David Beckham. I think even bigger than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Way bigger than this. And I think the decision he made, I know he was sought after by the Saudi League and also by Barcelona. But I know if you follow Fabrizio on Twitter, he's really pretty much spot on when he reports stuff. He mentioned something that Messi felt a lot more comfortable coming to Inter Miami. Because he'll have full control of his image and things, and he had a lot of distrust with Barcelona, and he didn't want that to repeat again, especially since
Barca's
they're still
a little
broke.
salty too.
Yeah, they're still.
I know you're a Real Madrid fan, but their statement was if I have to choose, I'm more of a Barca guy, but dude, that was salty.
It's embarrassing from Laporta for sure.
But you got to understand in his part that they kind of did him dirty the first time around, and I think he was afraid that the instability, pretty much it's still things are so unstable over there, and who's to say it doesn't happen again after one season? So this is a better market opportunity for him. He's in full control. They're offering a piece of part ownership, and look at that, all that money he's going to get from Apple TV. Can't get better than that. So, and I think maybe also his family. I think he was finally thinking first for his family. I think the kids want to, come to the U.S., only play here, but also go to school here. I think even his wife. There's a big Argentine community down there in South Florida. So it made perfect sense for him to go there. So I think also what he mentioned, like he wanted to have fun and you can tell when he was PSG, he was just not having fun playing. I think this is an opportunity for him to really have fun and just enjoy his last his last seasons before he hangs it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from his statement, or I'm pretty sure it's his statement, when he said, I don't want again to happen what happened the first time with Barcelona, with him kind of being blindsided by the transfer. And at the same rate, he wants more stability for his family, which is respectable, which is why he turned down $1.6 billion over 3 years from Saudi Arabia. He respects his family a lot more than that. He has a house already in the Miami area, so it's a respectable move. He's getting a lot, obviously from MLS, and I would be interested to see if he decides to partner up with Manu Ginobili and put the team he's going to get here. But that's neither here nor there. So that is very far in the future. We'll see what happens, but it's exciting. I know I'm going to unfortunately have to buy tickets either to Houston or to Dallas if or when he plays there in those stadiums to take my kid, because my kid is a huge Messi fan. So, and I'm probably going to have to buy him an Inter Miami jersey. So we're going to pay part of that salary. So right on. Okay.
Start saving up.
Anybody else have any SAFC rumor mill stuff? This is obviously has nothing to do with SAFC rumor. SAFC.
Robert, your thoughts on it? You haven't touched the subject yet.
It's good for American soccer in a way. Like I said, it's brand recognition. Messi's a name. Like they always say, the MLS is a bit of a retirement league where a lot of the older stars come with name recognition and still, have a few years left and it gives him an ownership opportunity, which I think maybe, once he decides not to play, he'll have something else to do or something to keep him busy and keep him occupied. When you have that type of money, you're more worried about interest or something you can do just to keep yourself entertained in your later years, kind of like Beckham.
And also a big thing that it's going to do as well is that obviously World Cup 2026, this is going to put more eyes on the league, more eyes on the sport in general in the States. It's going to put more butts in the seats for the league in general, or for the sport in general in the States. And that's going to lead to more eyes on the World Cup, which I'm sure FIFA was not against any of this. So I'm sure they're all for it. So.
And you also have Copa America coming in 2025, which is going to be here, and which could be his last probably international tournament.
That's 100% true. Man, that's crazy to think about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. I figured he may play in the World Cup, but yeah, you're right. He may 100% not. Okay, moving on. I believe the next subject we're going to talk about is the IL, the ever-changing injury list for SAFC.
For the New Mexico match?
Correct, for the New Mexico match, which it's changed slightly for the other match, for the San Diego match. But for New Mexico, it's pretty much the same thing that we've seen the last couple of games. Juan Carlos Socar's out, lower body injury. Sam Adeniran, Carter Manley, Isaiah Parker, and PC all out with lower body injuries, and David Luera still with the shoulder issue that he got during the Nashville match. So pretty much the same thing that we've seen the last couple matches. It was the exact same thing for New Mexico. And then going into it, the lineup that we chose for the New Mexico match, obviously had Farr starting in goal, the back three, the stalwart back three this season of Batista, Garcia, and Taintor. As the wing backs, you had Maloney and Gomez, pretty typical stuff.
Maloney back from daddy duty,
right? Which if there is a road trip, we'll see if he joins. I wouldn't doubt if he stayed behind for a few more weeks, but as long as he's home, he is playing, which is
I don't know. It's San Diego.
Fair enough. Anyway, Abu was a holding six. In front of him, you had Jorge Hernandez and Rita Zuhir, which, spoiler alert, this will forever be known as the Rita match. Then you had Tanny and Justin Dillon up top, which is a very interesting partnership that I think, well, we'll discuss it, but that's a very interesting partnership and like pretty darn good in this match. So let's go over the highlights.
One lifetime of the regular season in 8 meetings against New Mexico United, and we are underway with Kenny Goodman and our entire crew. I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining
And big
us
surprise, ball goes back to an SAFC center back, and there's an immediately pass up the field that completely negates the New Mexico midfield. So in the 18th minute,
it's Dillon in the box. Dillon left foot, great save from Timbakis.
And that was good to see. Dillon getting up, stretching the back line a little bit. Good shot in the 18th minute. And that would pay dividends because if you watch, Justin Dillon makes a run, the center backs go with them, which creates a space for Rita, and Rita turns everybody. So it's a great assist from Batista for the pass in, but that space that Rita is in is created by Justin Dillon taking that shot in the previous frame, in the previous highlight, and then him making that similar run and pulling the center backs back with him. So that is one of those unsung things you're not going to hear about Justin Dillon, that Justin Dillon deserves an assist for this goal for sure.
And through traffic makes it happen.
It's the first professional goal for Rita's
And pause it real quick. Rafa, what are your thoughts on Rita's first start and Rita's first goal with the team? And that's his first professional goal. So reminder, he's only 19.
What can you say? He's only, like I said, 19 years old, but he looks like a seasoned veteran. You can see how he flows with the ball. Left-footed shot, and that's outside the 18, which we've kind of been missing a little bit. We want more players to take shots from there. And, you know, normally maybe a young player might shy away from that, but he didn't shy with it. He was patient, saw that, took advantage of that space and nailed that in, and, you know, great, you know, perfect shot. So, you know, he's a real one of those diamonds in the roughs. And like I said, hopefully Montreal kind of leaves him with us for the rest of the season, you know. But, you know, great shot, great goal. He's going to do a lot of great things, you know, from here on out for us.
Absolutely.
Robert, any thoughts?
I mean, like what Rafa echoing what he said, that dude's absolutely sick, and I can see him really blossoming on the next level. I mean, like you said, he's only 19. That's the thing you don't realize. You just watch him and you don't even realize that he's a kid, and he's not afraid to take shots from outside. I mean, and I know he scored in this one, but he had that one long range shot that he almost scored too as well. Wasn't it against Charleston when we were killing him? So, like, I mean, that kid is something else. He's something special.
You ready for the next highlight there, Royce?
Fire away. So where this was created by, pause real quick. Before we even get to this, it's not going to show the foul, but this was also a very impressive match from Jorge Hernandez the entire match. He was all over the place. He was running at guys, taking on guys with a lot of dribbles. He kind of reminded me of Jose Gallegos in this match, if I'm honest, just doing the Clint Dempsey trying shit. So he looked really good. He completely dribbled by two guys in this one, and their right back ended up taking him out for the foul, which led to this free kick here. And SAFC cue the as the Puro SAFC podcast calls it, the scoring play. Go ahead.
18-yard box here.
So what's the scoring play? A cross to the back post to Mitchell Tainer. He gets a piece of it, and to somebody else waiting for it. And in this case, it's Fabian Garcia.
That defender was so worried about boxing him out. Like, the ball hit him. If you watch it, he's so worried. He's not even looking at the ball.
Yep.
Like, it just hit him on the shin.
And the best part about this is Fabian's like, okay, I have a celebration, guys. Hold on. I got a celebration. I forgot what it was. Okay.
Tim Backus had no shot.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No.
The power on that shot, I don't know if a lot of keepers have any shot.
Any thoughts on it, Rafa?
Just great shot there to bury it off the rebound. Good balance because normally those will go over the post, and he was able to pinpoint it right there on the corner and got us that second goal.
What serve there from O'Shea. Wins the ball away from the rookie Kelowna. O'Shea gets a little bit of it sun, grinds his way in. Just passes Kelowna is put in front.
I still question if that was offsides. I still question.
It's close.
I honestly, it's that was less off. If that was offside, it's less offside than the first Cincinnati goal against Pittsburgh last night, which wasn't even freaking close. So,
Well, there were 2 offsides on that play.
fair.
And then New Mexico gets their goal on a
That's just a
ball that
calamity
drops in
there.
the box.
Yeah, just a calamity. No one takes charge. That's the kind of stuff you got to get rid of.
Almost on cue. Far with the great save early on, but just couldn't get to the end of
Yeah,
it.
too many guys
Yeah,
just
just too
collapsed
much-
in on.
Yeah, too much traffic in front of him.
Yep.
Is there an
He
issue
did.
that there was 3 defenders basically on the line at that point? And I know
Well,
it's the ball's loose in the box, but
Ruffa took that one.
I didn't think just a breakdown of the play. If he kind of put a little bit back, because Jordan does punch that ball out right there. You see,
Far with the great save early on, but just couldn't get to
and
the
what
end.
he really needs to do. If you see, watch this play right here. He blocks it away, but he's just unable to kind of clear it, far and away. He plays it right directly towards to
the New Mexico player.
to the Mexico player. Now, if that ball goes to maybe far and away to the left, there's really not an angle for who knows if they will get that shot off. So that was just kind of an unlucky. The ball just landed.
Well, it was deflected in.
Yeah. And Jordan really needs to kind of snap far and away. Robert could tell you, you punch that ball out, it's gonna go away.
Yeah.
But it was just unlucky.
This was a wicked.
There.
O'Shea. O'Shea.
Gosh, like
I think he could have taken another touch to the right and then buried it.
you just see the speed and how physical. Like he bullies people. Like on that other one where Hansen's offside, did you see him just like knock that kid down shoulder to shoulder? He's something else.
So that was New Mexico 2-1 win. Thought it was a pretty convincing 2-1. I know they got their goal in the 57th minute, but I didn't feel that they were really in the game, if that makes sense. For that here, stats wise, 57-42 or 57-43% rounding up for San Antonio FC. On the goals, 21 shots, only 4 on target, 3 on target for them. So that's one thing there. So we only had 19% shooting accuracy.
And all of that was in the second half for them. They got shut.
Yeah,
down.
they didn't have a shot on goal in the
Dominated.
first half. Yeah.
Yeah, dominated.
And then, 57, 58% passing accuracy compared to 61. So,
And even though they weren't in it, like when it got to 2-1, I was just thinking Wehan. When they subbed him off late, I was like, yes. God. Like I was like, oh great.
He always gets
Wehan
one.
scores some dumb goal, we leave him open. But when they took him off, I was like, yes, we got this. It's over. Like I got excited.
you're going to let him move? Oh, sorry.
Uh-oh. So that was the New Mexico match. 2-1, pretty dominant win. And everybody had good feelings after that one. That was obviously the Memorial Day military night match. And then Saturday following that, let's go on to the Bring Your Own Energy. What did they call it?
It was mental health, right?
Mental health,
right.
yeah, mental health
It's like
awareness.
mental health night. The IL got a little shorter, which is great. You saw Sam become available and PC also become available, but unfortunately still have the other 4 out. Asokar, Manley, Parker, and Loera still with the shoulder injury. So we go to the lineup. And obviously it's going to be far in the back. Same back
exact
3.
lineup as last week or the San Diego match. Or
Was it the exact same? Okay, fair
the
enough.
same exact as the New Mexico match.
Against the New Mexico match. Fair enough. Okay, yeah, same lineup.
So
which,
the only
hey,
only
2 in a row.
difference, Adeniran was on the bench and PC was on the bench compared to Kamarni Smith and Nacho. And I thought Nacho being on there on how the game kind of played out, I think kind of changed things going down a person. But we had this discussion with Rafa and I and Chris in our section of 114. Who are you dropping? You're not dropping Sam and you're not dropping Hansen. So if you're carrying 2 forwards, you're not who are you replacing Nacho with on there? So
yeah. And then Zico Bailey was in also.
Yeah, Zico Bailey was another big one that's been inspirational for that here. So
those are the tough coaching decisions that I'm glad I don't have to make.
Yeah, once everyone starts getting healthy, like it's harder and harder.
Which, hey, not a bad thing. And you get to see how people train. You get to see who's ready. That's kind of how you go forward from there. And obviously last year, we remember the whole Landon Donovan speech about they don't play real soccer, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, I should pull that up, huh?
Please don't.
Yeah, let's not. Let's just
No,
talk
I'm talking
about
about the loyal post game. No, never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
let's
with
not.
Nate with Nate.
We'll discuss it. We'll discuss it, but we're not going to play it because it's bat-esque crazy is what it is. So it's a dude trying to play victim when he got bailed out by officials. That's basically what happened. Oh, it was justified because we were the victim in the whole thing, which I'm still we'll discuss the ramifications from that later, but go ahead with the highlights.
Toyota. Go to buyattoyota.com.
And of course, both of these videos are by YouTube, USL Championship, SAFC,
ESPN Plus,
and ESPN Plus.
Snyder's our center referee. Chris Canales, Daniel Zamora, the assistant. Edgar Garcia is the 4th official. We are underway.
So this one started as a complete domination, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about the domination. It was pure domination.
That's when it headed, and just like that,
in the 3rd minute.
He's got his first goal at Toyota Field.
3rd minute, Tanny header. And you loved it. A big thing that I'm a big believer in. If there's an entire team doing the same celebration that they practiced before, looking good. And then here you have Jorge Hernandez kind of being the dummy, looking to bring a left foot service in. And then you have Rita with the right foot service.
And he noticed one guy in the wall. One guy in the wall stupid.
And I want to take credit. I called this goal before it started.
He did.
Rafa, I had my flag already up in position, and then this magic happened. Stone, fuck you, dude.
Not wrong.
It's here, gives it a go. It's here from distance. How about this start for San Antonio FC? 5 minutes in, they're up 2-1.
19 years old.
Yeah.
It's insane.
He's good. He's good. And what I really like to see is, like, on the first goal, we're actually scoring with headers. It's been a minute since we've had someone who dominates in the air, but Tony's had a couple, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's threaded in needle right there. That's a perfect shot. Because you can see it looks like it's going to hit the post, right? But
Rafa and Robert, your thoughts on the goalkeeper? It was, I believe it was a 16-year-old goalkeeper because their primary starter is out due to injury. But your thoughts on the positioning of it? Because I think Rafa, during the match, you thought maybe this was, not taken away from Zahir at all, but The positioning of the goalkeeper might have been a issue.
Yeah, he wasn't swift of foot, but like he maybe should have had two people on the wall. That's what I caught right there right away. And so here I almost picked up on it. You could tell because he bent it right around there. And there was a look how much space there is to do that. Like it caught him real flat footed if you watch it. He wasn't expecting a shot, considering all those people buried over on the right. But I mean, that kid in general, I really didn't see any glimpses of anything amazing. He was a bit of a sweeper keeper when they had a man up. But outside of that, I mean, he didn't really do much at all as far as saves.
He kind of cheats a little bit to the right.
Yeah, he took that one
right there.
Yeah, right there. You can see right there. He's already cheating, anticipating.
He took 2 steps. Yeah.
Cross. And normally, like I said, we've been known for those crosses and like how Abu sent those in like into the 6. But
do you think there's a part that they think container, like the scoring play? They're like watching TV so much that they're not expecting that.
Yeah, that back from that far post header.
Well, what set that up was the near post header by Tanny in the beginning, and the goalkeeper's looking out for that again, and that left the entire other side of the goal open. So
yeah, there's like no way he's going to shoot it from that far.
And here's another thing that I think we've been lacking. We've been lacking someone that actually can put the ball in the net from free kicks.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Hernandez has done it, and also now we have Rita's doing it. So we just added another dimension to the offense here.
And the big thing, that was great. The big thing, and that was pretty much the scoring play as well, except it wasn't Mitch that time. Mitch stopped his run, which kind of allowed it to happen because he takes his runner with him, and then his runner loses him in the box. But
the hit by Tanny on the fly like that though, that takes some skill.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a big thing that these set piece goals, a big thing we're lacking, and it's really no slight to Fabian Garcia. Yes, he kind of had a difficulty with the service, but what it allows him to do now that Jorge and Rita are taking the set pieces, it allows a 6-foot body to be in the box to cause even more chaos, and he scored goals on those set pieces. So it's kind of like, you're missing kind of the quality of Fabian, but at the same time, you get a big body in the box, and that's only going to cause more chaos for the opposing team.
Yep.
So unfortunately, let's continue because this is kind of when the game.
And here's where the tide turns. And Inter Miami just scored against Birmingham.
Yeah, Miami just scored.
55th minute. So
56th. Yeah.
56. And Miami's up on the Nuggets 37-33, 7 minutes in. But I'm probably the only one that's watching that.
That's correct.
But I like watching winners. That's why I don't watch the Vikings.
Oh wow, that's just bad. That's really bad on Birmingham.
Let's say Broncos.
So let's talk about this. Our friends at Pro SAFC, who happen to win free tacos for the stadium from a company that I can't believe SAFC is tied into with all the taco places here in San Antonio. But it is what it is. Happened to talk to Tani in the tunnel. Basically said, as he ran by the San Diego bench, that, shut up. And
well, let's rewind and let's talk about Tanny's first yellow card, which is still a mystery to me why he received a yellow card. He's advancing, the ball is played toward him. The opposing San Diego player is also running at him to try to get the ball. They run into each other. Tanny happens to be a brick shithouse, and the guy regrets running into him because he ran into a brick wall. And Tanny gets a yellow for that. They run into each other. It's on a 50-50. They run into each other. It's not like Tanny's going out of his way he's not stopping a counter. He's not, it's not a dangerous tackle. They run into each other flat. They're both standing up and they run into each other. And the San Diego guy goes and does what he does and rolls around, the typical Landon Donovan coach thing. And Tanny gets a yellow just for no reason on that one, which just, I don't understand why that was a yellow in general. And then this happened.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will cue you up here.
Go ahead.
Sorely missed, as you can see. Just right back into the starting line.
There we go. 50-50. Boom. That's it. That's not a yellow.
Yeah.
It's
In
a
real-
50-50 ball. The San Diego player loses the ball, and this is once again Nate Miller
This is the crybaby.
being
Like-
a crybaby. Thank you. That's a better word. He's being
Like,
a crybaby. That's
When
it.
you watch the replay, though, like you can clearly show, like in real time, it looked a little iffy, but then in the replay, it was so obvious that wasn't a foul. Like why when
Well,
they slow it down,
It can be a foul. That's
Yeah.
fine, but it's 50-50. The San Diego player loses the ball. They run into each other.
Yeah, he tries to hold himself up, and versus he tries to like not run into him, and the dude still hits him and falls down and starts rolling.
He lost. That's the thing. He lost the ball. It became a 50-50. They run
Yeah.
into each other. It could be a foul. Sure. I've seen those not even
Yeah.
called a foul, and it's a yellow. Like,
Yes.
no, it's not. And then the second one that we're talking about is after the third goal, Tanny goes by the San Diego bench, and from firsthand knowledge, he tells them, and you can see him kind of mouth it, "Shut up." Keeps walking. That's it. He says 2 words. His mouth goes, "Wah, wah," and then he moves on. He says, "Shut up," and moves on. And Nate Miller runs over to the fourth official and said, "He's got to go. He's got to go." Just completely playing the ref, which, number one, if the ref's going to be that susceptible to that crap, that's on the ref to be that susceptible to anything that the coaches say. And we'll go through that later because obviously he's not that receptive to what coaches say, but he's receptive to what one coach complains about. So unbelievable, just completely unbelievable.
And poor Elliot Collier, he took a shot on that one.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost like he's desperate. Like he sees his team is down 3-0 and they're shell shocked.
That's what it
Let me
was.
try a desperate move. Like let me try to get an advantage by bullying and coaxing this ref into something that he knows is that's ridiculous.
That's what it is. And
Yeah.
and the SAFC coaching staff, I for sure our website's going to do it. But whenever we play them next, which is in a few weeks, that's going to be the number one thing that I post all over the place is the refs need to be aware of Nate Miller's shenanigans, because he, instead of actually coaching his team to play winning soccer, he would rather try to play the ref and would try to weasel his way into some points, which is disgusting behavior. It's unsportsmanlike. And the second yellow makes no damn sense, especially telling a bench to shut up. Okay, sure. But let's go forward to what is also a yellow card. Let's go forward as to what happens Stoneman versus Abu, where Stoneman kicks. The ball's nowhere near. He follows through on a kick and kicks legs out, and that's only a yellow card. Be consistent. That's all we ask is be consistent. If you were to be consistent as an official, it's even in baseball, in soccer, whatever sport, be consistent. Once you lose your consistency, you lose your credibility, and that's what happened in this match right here.
And even Stoneman, after kicking him, look what he does. He looks at our bench and starts saying stuff like, "What's the difference?" He said, "Shut up." He says, "You're an idiot."
Yeah.
Like whatever he said something the same as Tanny. If it's that mild, then he needs to go too. Like it's period. It's got to be equal.
The USL really kind of needs to look at this and see, as far as with these officials, this is a total embarrassment.
Or this isn't even the worst call. That's my
but
issue. We're gonna get to Stoneman's call.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's
this
go through it, because
this
this is the most egregious thing that I like. Sure, you call that a second yellow. It's not even borderline. It is what it is, though. Okay, you called a red card.
And
okay.
let's not forget, this never made any of the highlights, and I forget where I saw it, and I don't want to go through the film and cut it through. Maloney got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
Destroyed by Stoneman, and no call. Nothing. But yet they're going to give the red card to Tani. Even if he said something that was, hey, F off along those lines, that's not in the 19th minute, that's not a second yellow. It's not. I've never seen a second yellow for something like that. Ever. But hold on, I got 10 seconds here.
Vamp and Rant. Robert, what are your
Our
thoughts?
friend from Germany, this is the part that he wants to hear. So here we go.
Yep, San Diego loose touch. And right
Come on,
there,
computer.
it's going to be
Steal the
intercepted.
ball.
Oh, well, it skipped for me, but I don't see how that's not a red. It's unbelievable how that's not.
And the one thing that upsets me even more is who he decided to do against it.
Yeah, it's skipping right at the word. You have to reload that.
Do you think if he did that to Tainer, they wouldn't be throwing blows? He does it to Abu, the guy he knows, like, you know, the little guy, the nice guy. Like, he's picking on him. It's ridiculous. Like, that would have gone south if it was someone. No way. Certain guys, like, no way.
And it's done right in front of the fourth official too, which is
Yeah,
the
like-
most pathetic part.
Why does it keep freezing there? God damn it.
It's a league conspiracy, Harry.
He's looking right at it. He's looking right at it. Like, what did he miss?
This next replay clearly shows it, though.
Yeah. It's the
See, right
second
there
one
where
that-
he's going after, right there when he goes after the coaching staff. Why
Yeah.
isn't that a second yellow?
Yeah, he's going up and talking some mess to them. There's no way. Same difference.
Barking with the SAFC staff.
This one right here.
Was the challenge from
Boom!
Like,
yeah.
That's
Nowhere near the ball. The ball's gone, and he follows through on his kick, and
Yeah.
not a red. That's a red no matter what. Like, I don't get it.
Look at the fourth official's right there.
he's staring right at it. What did he?
Right
like,
there.
I don't know who this for. I'm not going to go look at this fourth official because I don't want to call him out by name. This fourth official was way over his head. He just there's no way that you do not call that.
Also, Harry, I just sent you a video clip of Maloney getting completely cleared out. It's a foul call, but apparently it should have been a yellow because this ref was
It
yellow.
could have been a red on how he called it.
Yeah, it was a shoulder to the back, and it completely cleared out Maloney. And
He was like even extended his arm. If you watch, he's
Yeah.
hitting
Yeah.
his mouth.
yeah, it
It
definitely could have been. So
it-
this is just one of those very. Yeah, go ahead. Just completely cleared
Yeah,
him out.
that's
Or it wasn't Stoneman.
That's
it
a
was
yellow.
Lumberstone.
No, that was their left back coming in.
Just no play on the ball. And what pisses me off is Nate Miller called us, had the audacity to call us that we were the dirty team.
Yeah.
There was nothing dirty by San Antonio FC. And then he added on that we were spitting. And I want USL, and I know they won't because they don't give a shit. If a coach is going to make a claim like spitting on somebody, where if it's a player that gets caught, they get sit 3 to 6 games
Correct.
at least. And yet you got this jack off of a coach over here making a claim that somebody from San Antonio spit on a San Diego player. As a San Antonio fan, if one of our players spit on them, I want them suspended. That's not
Yeah.
acceptable. I don't care who it is.
It's
But you
unbecoming.
can't be making that shit up.
Exactly. You can't make that shit up because it puts the integrity of the entire league at stake. If that's really going to happen in games, then yeah, it's unacceptable. But if you're just going to claim it like boy who cried wolf, let's
not forget
it's
Loyal.
unbecoming. Let's
Let's not
should be
forget their
suspendable.
history. They walked off
Yeah.
the pitch with Junior Fleming. They've had issues, with the LA Galaxy and
With-
issues along those lines.
With OC,
As an organization, they know better. They know what it means to have somebody. And I'm not trying to equate.
Actually be offensive.
I'm not trying to
offensive.
equate, the
Yeah.
stuff that's happened to them to what Nate Miller did with spitting, but it's along those same lines. You
Agreed.
cannot do that. And as an organization like San Diego Loyal that has the history, that knows what it means, especially on a player-to-player available, along those lines, for their coach to come out and say San Antonio FC player spit on somebody is absolutely bullshit. It's an embarrassment, in my opinion, it's an embarrassment on San Diego for all that they've stood up, for, especially in Pride Month with Colin Martin and along those lines,
Correct.
for their coach to come out and say that shit. It's unacceptable. It has no place in the game.
I completely agree. And I will say, number one, except that he's a San Diego Loyal player, we completely support Colin Martin here. And soccer is for everybody. It's
And
Not
I
for
don't
spit.
fault the
It's not
players.
for people who
This has
spit
nothing
on
to do
one
with the
another.
players. Has nothing to do with the fan base because their fan base is great. It
But
has nothing to do with that.
the
But
point,
the
right?
bullshit of the coach for trying to draw out SAFC like that is BS.
And completely unfounded. And it's not even. There's no truth to it, and that's the problem. That's the big problem. There's no truth to it, and he's trying to. He's trying to play the victim. He's trying to continue to play the victim, even though
He's
he
probably-
was rewarded for playing the victim in this match. That's basically what happened. And if the league is going to continue to reward him for playing the victim, then I question the integrity of the league in general, and they really need to crack down on this. But what I was going to say is I'm going to call out San Diego loyal fans. If the shoe was on the other foot, I would be completely embarrassed if Alan Marcino were to do this, accuse San Diego loyal players of doing something heinous like spitting
And that's fair.
when
There's been
there's
silence on their
absolutely no
side.
justification. I would call him out on social media. I would call him out. Like it's unbecoming. It is behavior and conduct unbecoming. And Nate Miller should be absolutely suspended for a match or two if those claims are unfounded.
The reflection of Nate Miller is rubbing on the players, and you can see that. And one of the things about like with Alan Marcino, he has a lot of integrity, a lot of respect. We know he's not the players are the reflection of him, and we know our players are not going to be doing that. But if something happens like that, like I said, we won't tolerate. But also I think the officials need to realize they need to stop being manipulated by him. He's basically the Karen of the USL Championship League. Don't be intimidated by him. Stop. Tell him shut up. Go sit down, and go coach. Don't be asking us for this and that and the other. If you want to say yourselves you're a good coach, improve it. You don't have to be trying to rub on the referees and all that. I think as a coach, he should be embarrassed by that. That the only way that he can come back and win is by to kind of be antagonist to the situation and so forth. And just like he does not have any thick skin. Just shut up and coach. You're down 3-0. Do something.
I think he owes San Antonio FC an apology. I really do. Coming back to say, hey, I understand being caught up in the moment, maybe, but the discipline list came out, and we'll get to that here in a second. Here, where Stoneman does get a retro red for his actions. Tony gets sent off, and of course there was a late yellow on
second yellow on Nick Moon.
On Nick Moon,
yeah.
For that here, we have to finish the highlights here before we get too far, but. To me, Nate Miller owes San Antonio FC an apology for just it's wrong. It's
yeah.
Oh shit! Hold on, I got too fired up.
Are you gonna play the highlights? You're on mute. Harry.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to get to.
Okay. Just making sure. No, but 100%. Way to kill the momentum on that one. No, it really is conduct unbecoming to just baselessly accuse a team of such heinous acts. And obviously no evidence found because the disciplinary report has come out, and Tanny's red card is going to stand for his 1-game suspension, as is Nick Moon. So obviously the league didn't see anything, and the league needs to speak up about it. At least fine him or send him a letter to cease and desist and instruct him that he's supposed to be coaching his team rather than complaining about the other team.
So here's my question to you guys. And we know how the game ends. The second half, how do you feel about how Coach Marcina set us up? Or how do you feel about the players played in the second half? Because I know Rafa felt, and it may have been Chris. I forget. I don't know if it's Chris or Rafa. Felt that the goals were coming just because we just sat back and we absorbed and we absorbed and we absorbed. And to give San Diego credit, they do have firepower. Damas coming on. They've got quality attackers on their side. I personally think that the substitutions, I don't know if I agree with, but I'd rather listen to you guys and your thoughts on kind of the substitution pattern for that match. Rafa, Robert?
I guess with the substitutions, I know because we were sitting in the game, we were sitting back a lot. I don't question the players we put in. I question more of the tactics. And I think we should have been more, not to say aggressive, but we should have been more mindful as far as keeping possession of the ball when we got it, instead of getting it and just kicking it away and then just staying back. We needed to play a little more ball control, kind of some little keep away. Even though we're a down mount, we can still mount that a little bit, and then just kind of pick and choose, our attacks, or when we have opportunities and we did have a couple opportunities to score too. We could have added a fourth, and just be a little bit smarter. And I think we just parked the bus too early, and we gave them just too much space to too much control of the ball, of the possession of the ball.
And the substitutions that started in the 46th minute with PC coming on for Hernandez, which I thought Hernandez was having a good game prior to that. 57th minute, Hansen comes on for Dylan. Dylan was exhausted up front, so I kind of argue a little bit about maybe switching with him and Sam, but that's a little bit one and the same. Ja'Cory Hayes comes on in the 61st minute for Zohar. And those were the subs. And then Sam came on in the 89th minute for Dylan and
for Nico.
For Nico.
So Nico came on for Dylan, and then Nico got subbed out.
And then Tulu came on for Abu in the 89th minute that here.
So the only question I'm going to have on setup for this for Marcina, and this is definitely going to be one of those, I'm kind of glad this is happening now so we can figure things out later in the season when these games really, really matter. If we do go down the 10 men, what our strategy is going to be. What I would have really liked to seen is, instead of PC coming in for Hernandez, is to kind of have Hernandez run more of a race, and Hernandez and whoever the striker is, so Nico or Sam later on, those two kind of stay up front. So, but Jorge, or eventually sub in Pirano, both of those guys try to keep possession in the midfield, so kind of play as an 8, take the ball and dribble, because that's where they're most dangerous. That's where Jorge's most dangerous. That's where Christian's most dangerous. And also you have your striker up there trying to spread the field, hold up the ball for a little bit, pass it back, and then you're off a little bit. Obviously, if that last-minute goal from Damas doesn't go in, we're not questioning Marcina's tactic.
I think we're still questioning.
So, we kept them off the score sheet in the second half for 30 minutes.
Correct.
And then, the floodgates.
Well, it's 50 minutes. It took them 50 minutes to break down from the yellow, or pardon me, from the red to.
I think one issue also is and Harry can say, remember we're talking about this. We're playing like a 5-back, and we're playing with 3 in the middle, and that allowed just too much space. I think we should have played maybe like a 4-4-1. At least there we could have covered a lot of those gaps, and then and also be able to intercept that ball. But what happened is we were too compact in the middle, and that allowed them to play the ball out to the side. That way, we had kind of stretched it out better shape with that 4-4, like a 4-4-1. We could have allowed to intercept a lot more of those balls, and then play the little possession too. And like I said, maybe bringing on PC maybe later in the game. I think if Hernandez is still there, I think he can probably stolen a couple of the balls, send those up to Nico, and we maybe get that fourth goal. I think maybe that's probably the strategy. If that ever happens again, I think that's what they need to do instead of playing like a 5-back with three in the middle and one up top.
What
Your
what
thoughts, Robert? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Robert. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I agree with the idea of like maybe putting in Perano and Hernandez for some more possession, like kind of keep the ball a little bit more, keep it away from them. I just, like you said, we had a tendency to kick it. The substitutes, I mean, at this point in the game, you're playing a man down for that long. There's some fatigue that's setting in. So getting fresh legs in there, I mean, it makes absolute sense to me. I mean, there's some unluckiness in those goals, and
Right, we're gonna get
I
to
hate to keep pounding on the ref, but like 5-6 minutes of stoppage time from where? Where was it? You see that? Like, it was ridiculous. It was maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Even the announcer said it. Then all of a sudden, 5-6 from where? In the second half, it was fluid. There was no stoppage.
And the goal was scored in the 96th minute.
It was like, it's literally as if it was like scripted for them.
let's not go past the fact that San Diego's a super powerfully offensive team. And they were able to sub in, Ronaldo Damas, the USL Cup MVP from a couple years ago. So, like, they have quality players, and they brought in quality players that go against our 10 men. What I would have liked to seen, honestly, kind of as a setup, is I would have liked to seen us do the 5-back, except have Batista play that role where he just sticks with probably Damas in this case, and he just shuts him down like he's been doing. So we have the 3-back, but really Batista's kind of the roamer, and he goes wherever the other striker is. I would have liked to have seen that to try to, focus on him and shut him down a little bit. We were a little too stagnant in the shape we were playing, but I would have definitely liked to seen like a 5-3-1 and have PC and Mo on each side of whoever the middle midfielder is, that being Jorge Hernandez or Perano, and getting the ball up to the striker and then giving it back to the dribbler, and then having the dribbler do their work to try to waste some time, get some time off the clock.
But that's where Coach Marcina, in my opinion, made his mistake when he took out, because Damas came in for Collier, and that was on Gomez's side where Gomez and PC was. I think Damas has elite speed. I think if you have Hernandez over there and Gomez, I think that speed-wise, it neutralizes it, and as Rafa was mentioned, closing that gap. And I know that sucks to say about PC, but he's just coming back from a foot injury.
Exactly.
Along those lines here, I love PC. He's if we ever retire jerseys, he's going to be in that discussion. Right. But to me, for this match here, for him coming on for Hernandez, to me, if it would have been Hernandez Perano like it's normally been, I think a like for like, I think you're still good. But when you went from Hernandez to PC, you went way defensive, and I think that hurt us here. So, but let's catch the goals here so we can finish out these highlights here.
Yeah, but that was just an incredible save from Far there. I mean, what are you gonna say about that? Oh no, that was Fabian's save.
Yeah, off the line. But Far did off the line.
Yep. And here you go. Yeah, 75th minute. Damas from there. Yep. There's no pressure on him. And that's kind of the issue. I mean, Damas was floating everywhere, and that's why I kind of wanted Batista to be on him, because he just finds some space, and that's what he was trying to do the entire time, just find space. He found it. Boom, goal. And then 3 minutes later, to the back post, nobody on him.
And they have the smallest guy like marking him.
Yep. And then, of course, there's a short corner. Nobody goes in for the short corner and ends up going in. So that's got to stop at the service. Shannon's got to get out there quicker to prevent that service from coming in.
And that's an own goal against Tainer, by the way.
Yeah, and that's why Tainer's pissed off, because like that cross should never come in. We should be stopping that. Yeah. And then here's Nick Moon's red card right here, or second yellow, getting Ja'Cory Hayes, bodying him into the side. And then once again, just only a yellow, but yeah, sure. That's a yellow, and goodbye. Go hit the showers early. So.
He's not even, he doesn't want to settle for just the one, but he will. And this match.
Yeah, awful. Yep, awful. What are you gonna do?
And you have these game once or twice a season.
It's very true.
Just this one hurts because the red card on Tani, questionable. Stoneman clearly, should have been sent
A
off.
clear
There's
red, yeah.
USL championship agrees after the fact. Just it's it's one of those matches that you'd like to say putting 3 goals, you put the game away, but unfortunately, defensively, down a man, tactics wise, it didn't play out. And I give all credit to San Diego loyal players, for doing what they need to do to get the tying goals. Damas, the class. But Stoneman, dude, you're nasty, dude. You're dirty. You don't deserve on the pitch, man. So,
You said it. What else are you gonna say?
And then the coaching too. I mean, to be crying and accusing us of all that, or team all that stuff. There's no place for that. Honestly, USL really kind of needs to look into that and say, hey, just quit your shit and shut up. There's no proof. And honestly, he deserves to be suspended. And I hope in 2 weeks, our team's going to be motivated by this game. And like I said, at 11 versus 11, hopefully we end up kicking their over there and embarrass them. Because honestly, in this game, if Tani doesn't get that yellow card, I think we end up blowing them out of San Antonio on this game. It was just we were going to rout them because we were just on it on that first half.
Here's where this kind of hurts us even more. And I know this is going to be kind of odd to say. San Diego plays Sacramento next. We play El Paso. We're going to be without Tani. They're going to be without Moon and Stoneman. So 2 starters for them going against the West leaders right now. For that hurt. We have a tough match against El Paso, who's on a 9-game unbeaten.
Hold on. Why are they without Stoneman?
He got a red card. I mean,
he's suspended. They gave him a retroactive red card.
Yeah,
Did they?
They suspended him next game.
I saw you sent me
conduct.
the release. I did not read that part.
Yeah, that's
there's conduct. 2 of them. Yeah, the USL. Hold on, let me pull it up here.
Yeah, so I was trying to tell you in the chat is like they retroactively.
Oh yeah, there you go. Grant Stoneman has been suspended 1 game. I didn't read that part. Wow, so we did get a retro red.
But it's like their way of saying sorry without saying sorry. Like just.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's been determined that was a red card play.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. The fact is, though, and this is where it doesn't help us. Just looking long term, it makes weaken San Diego against Sacramento, which on Friday night, which we're in a race with San Diego and El Paso, San Diego, El Paso, Sacramento, and us are the top 4 in the West. So it gives I hate to say it, it hurts us to be able to kind of gain momentum on Sacramento because you would favor losing 2 starters and a 16-year-old at goalkeeper unless their starter comes back for the match here, which who knows. But Tani has been confirmed that he'll miss the game against El Paso. Nick Moon will be suspended. Also, Lamar Batista is 1 yellow card away from a 1-game suspension as well.
Yep. The only thing I could say is almost like San Diego. It almost seems like cultural within their organization because Donovan did the same thing before the playoff game. It's almost like they preach playing the refs for an advantage. It just seems like part of what they do, unfortunately. And
the one person I do feel sorry for is Leland Archer, who got his red card 19 seconds in the match against for Charleston against Detroit City. So he missed that entire game, and he gets to sit this week against Indy 11 for his red card.
Yikes.
And it's not looking good for the Legion. Still down 1-0.
Yeah, they're still down 1-0. Legion have a throw in the 88th minute. ref just told them to move literally 3 steps back from where he took it.
Yeah,
And he walks right back up.
And he walks right back up to it. So the ref kind of.
and Miami's had like nothing but cramps over it. Like they feel like Ronchette Jr.
So standing wise, and then that way we can get to our Mentale monster of the matches here. Standing wise here, I didn't go through an updated. Sacramento 28 points, 8-1-4. El Paso 8-3-1, who we play this week at 25. We're third at 6-2-5 at 23 matches. Loyal at 21 points. Oakland Roots at 20. Monterey Bay seeing a lot of red for the Switchbacks. They're at 16 points. Remember, they're a great start. Phoenix Rising still struggling. 16 points. El Paso, they lost their Prince, who stepped down to take another position elsewhere. 14 points. Orange County. RGV, you're not Las Vegas Lights, but you're only 2 points away from it. So
sorry, Edson.
Yeah, the RGV Lights.
And I am so glad we're not RGV fans. Number one, the performance, but number two, at least our organization recognizes, Pride Month, Black History Month, along those lines. RGV does not. So it is interesting. In the East, Charleston's in first, 24 points, 24 points because they haven't kicked off. Pittsburgh 23, Rowdy's 21. They've made a strong recovery. Louisville at 21. Memphis, they've came back at 18. Legion, despite being good in Open Cup, has started to suck. They're on a 5-game winless streak at 16. Indy 11's your hot and cold team. FC Tulsa likes to trade. They're in 13th place. Miami, who got embarrassed by Memphis, 12 points. Detroit City, since their win, they've won 2 in a row. Louding and Hartford Athletic. The reason why Tula wanted to come here, they're the Vegas of the East. So, mentality monsters of the match. I'm going to go with the crowd. I thought the crowd for both matches. I'll leave the players to you guys, but I thought the crowd for both matches, the supporters groups, the tailgates, I thought everything was great for through there, and then the prices of the warm-up giveaways, the auctions, just
I'm gonna go over that here in a little bit on one of our final segments.
That blew me away. We thought 400 was impressive. I'm just gonna laugh at that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the correct take.
You guys' thoughts? We'll go with you, Robert.
I guess for New Mexico, the player I want to call out is Hernandez. Like, considering, he didn't get a whole lot of playing time. He missed that PK early on. He could have, folded, shut it down. But the last game or two, he's been impressing me. The moves, like, you can see his shiftiness, you can see his creativity, and like I said, the free kicks or taking the corners or the set pieces, just even a bonus. But to me, he's actually shown me quite a bit. I'm pretty excited what he's doing and what he could become if he continues to play that way. And if I.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Matt's internet invaded Robert.
Oh no.
You're on mute,
no.
Robert.
I don't think he's on mute. I think
he's not on mute. Yeah, he's not on mute. His internet just went down. So that's what happened there. Oh. Yeah, not working.
Robert.
Rafa, your thoughts?
Rafa for me.
I guess my mentality monster is going to be Rita. He's
19,
but he looks like he's a stud, and that's the scary part. He hasn't hit his peak yet, and he's a player to watch out in the future too. And just the way he hustles for the ball, dribbles, and those goals he scored, especially like I said from that set piece, against San Diego, and that left-footed shot against New Mexico. I don't know what Montreal was thinking, but hey, their loss is our gain as far as for the temporarily for the season. Hopefully, they don't have to call them up. But he's the one to really he hasn't hit his stride yet, and that's the scary part. I think once he gets a few games under the system, just kind of watch out for them. He could be that difference maker towards the end, like when we get to August and September, and then also into the playoffs. He's going to be the one. He's going to bring a lot of great things coming in this next few months. So he's my Italian monster for these last 2 games.
Absolutely. Harry, well, you went through yours. So going on the internet, I was too steamed after the San Diego match to even ask the question. So let's go after the New Mexico match. Will, or Panther Chap on Twitter at Panther Chap 2 said, I have to go with Rita. The opening goal is a sweet strike that set the tone for the evening, which how are you going to argue against that? And he was unbelievable in that match. Fredville at Fredville SA said, I thought the entire team was a mentality monster for their first half aggressiveness, especially on offense. Wish they'd continued that during the second half. And some guy at Spurs Fan Rig said, Maloney had some well-placed crosses. Wish they had been finished. And my mentality monster of the match for New Mexico, it was the Rita show. I mean, what are you going to say? I liked Hernandez's performance for sure, but it's Rita. Rita was unbelievable in that match. And then for the San Diego match, man, who do you go with?
I got another one here for San Diego. I want to give it to the SAFC communication team. Class act with the video presentation that they gave for Elliot Collier as they gave him his ring.
Yep.
Not a lot of organizations go through on the pitch while he was on the pitch during warm-ups with fans in the stadium. Made it public through here. Also posted it on social media as well. So I thought that was pretty class act. Not a lot of organizations do that, especially, let's be honest, San Diego and San Antonio, not exactly rivals, but they're not far from it, in my opinion. I think the two organizations do not like each other. Just the nastiness that's gone on at the coaching level, not necessarily the player level, but it's dipped down into the player level after this match. And I do hope that they put a senior referee at the next match, next Wednesday, actually, on the 14th. And which, speaking of, do you guys want to do a watch along for that match for that here?
I would love to set something else up or something for that for sure. You said June 14th?
Yeah, it's next week.
So holy crap. Yeah, I guess it is.
It's a Saturday. It's a
so
Wednesday
it's
match.
A Wednesday. Yeah, well, I'll set something up. I'll figure out a place for it.
Well, even if it's just here, because it's a late night match.
Yeah, if it's just on here, that wouldn't be a bad thing. See who joins us. You know what? Let's do that. Let's set it up. Let's make it official right now. Wabam.
We'll see if
June
Pearl
14th.
can join us. Maybe.
We'll that'd be great. We'll set up. We'll set it up. We'll send out the links. I guess DM us. We'll send some tweets out as well. But we will have a watch party here on our platform. It's kind of like a Zoom kind of thing, to where we can get everybody. We know it's a weeknight. We know not everybody is available to get out of the house. So we will have a watch party here streaming, and we can all watch the match together on June 14th. We'll send a tweet out about that as for sure. What I did want to say, I did want to cover the jerseys, the Bring Your Own Energy jersey, pregame warm-ups, as well as the military night warm-ups. For the military night, the final tally was a little over $5,000 for all the jerseys, the money that was raised. And for the Bring Your Own Energy, it was just under $5,000. It was like $4,800 and change. So, pretty dang impressive for those auctions for sure. So well done, everybody.
And they
Jordan
got a pride
Favre's-
one for this week, although it's not.
They're
It's
going to be
player
team
signed,
Yeah,
but not player specific. But or
right.
team signed. Pardon me,
It's gonna be
not player.
team
Team
signed,
signed. They got 2 for small, medium, large, extra large. For that, and the kids look okay. Not the worst, not the best.
I like it. It kind of stinks it's not personalized. It's not, player by player, but at the same time, it's cool. And those proceeds are go out as well. So let's see how much those go for. Let's see if we can get those to go for $5,000 for, I believe there's, what is it? 6 or 7 of them being auctioned off
8
that are team signed. 8
small, medium, large, and extra large, 2 each.
in 2 each. Yep, that's right. So very cool. So let's see if we can get some money raised for those as well.
And then SAFC is also collecting donations for Thrive, which they are asking if you can bring home essentials or gift cards. And then, of course, you can visit safc.com for more details.
And Thrive Youth Center is here
Thrive
in
Youth,
San
right.
Antonio. And it is it's kind of it's a youth center for LGBTQ plus youth that need help getting on their feet, whether, unfortunately it does happen where these kids are abandoned by their families and they need somewhere to go. This is the place that they go to for assistance with school, with anything in life, basically to get their life started. Because unfortunately in this day and age, kids that are in the LGBTQ plus community are ostracized. And so these organizations are well worth the money. They really help kids stay off the street. And they really help kids get their lives together. So a very worthy cause. They're collecting home essentials and gift cards. Please consider donating before the match on Saturday. I have donated in the past on the Big Give to the Thrive Center. So definitely a worthy cause here in San Antonio.
And then also, so I don't get in trouble, all 3 supporters groups are taking part in the Pride Raiser event, whether it's CopaTejas, 210 Alliance, or FTC
This San Antonio.
San Antonio. Click on them if you follow any of them on social media. It's a worthy cause. I'm donating $2.10 to each of the groups for that here. So that started in the last match on June 3rd. We'll have El Paso, we'll have at San Diego, and at Sacramento are the final 3 matches to do that. So stay tuned. This is also a CopaTejas match. Rafa, do you want to let them know what's going on in the bunker or for that here with this match?
The tailgate.
Well,
Yeah, with the tailgate.
And then also, I think you mentioned some sort of supporter.
USL.
Or aren't you going to be possibly drumming?
Yeah, I'm coming out of retirement for 1 game.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. To do a feature on supporter groups. I know they did one with Detroit. They spoke with us yesterday, with me and Robert and a couple other guys yesterday, and I think we're going to meet them on Friday to do possible interviews, just to kind of film some stuff ready for Saturday. And then FTC will be having their tailgates. Same thing with the Crocs. FTC will have a piñata, a special piñata for the Copatejas. So grab the kiddos. You'll enjoy this one.
Unless you're from El Paso.
Yeah, unless you're from El Paso. Yeah. So it should be fun. It should be a fun environment. And like I said, we'll have plenty. Like I said, all 3 supporter groups have plenty of food, plenty of beverages, kiddies and adult beverages for everyone. Just like I said, game time is at 8, so you're gonna get to spend extra time with the supporter groups. Some of us got to be there. Let's set up, but it's fun. But so come out. You have nothing to do. You'll have fun. It's going to be a big game. I think we need the crowd. They're a big crowd there to really kind of pick the team up and give them confidence and get a big win before they hit the road, which hopefully we can get some revenge against San Diego
And Sacramento. I want both.
and Sacramento.
100%. 100%.
You
Go
can
ahead.
get us out of here, Royce?
Yep. Real quick. It is we're at time. So real quick, let's go over our final thoughts. Rafa, you have any final thoughts?
Just some final thoughts. Like I said, just come out to Saturday. Also, congratulations to the ladies from Club America for winning, and also the ladies from Mexico from the U20s for winning. Congratulations to them. And looking forward for Saturday's day. So come head out there. We'll see you. We'll see you there.
And congratulations goes to Rafa for not having to be a Kareem Benzema fan anymore. Harry, your final thoughts?
My final thought is let's try to be nice to the refs, not, the ref you suck chant. I understand for this last game would have been appropriate, but a lot of times we as fans do it when
It's overused.
When
Let's be
9
honest,
out of
it's
10
overused.
times it hasn't. Now I call it the Jonathan Check chant because he's the one that always calls it out. So
The
can we
check chant.
please minimize the Jonathan Check chant with the ref you suck? Refs do their best. There is a shortage of referees. Part of that comes by how us as fans act, not only at SAFC, MLS. What we saw the referee in the Champions League or which match that got accosted going out of the airport.
It was a Europa League final.
Mourinho.
Yeah,
So
Mourinho, of course, opened his mouth, and I felt aggrieved.
If we could try to be better,
exactly.
It's the small things that if we can try to take the lead, and I know this episode probably isn't the best example of it, but
at the same rate, we got to remember that a lot of these refs are also developing as well as the players are. This is second division, and they are trying to get up to get first division assignments. So, yeah, they're going to make mistakes too. But at the same rate, like you said, in this previous match, woof, that's a tough one. Yeah, that is a tough one.
But in general, there has been.
But in general, the refs
we've got to be a little bit better. Just not every call that goes against San Antonio deserves that chance. So let's reserve it for a kick to the thigh area of a boo that doesn't get called because that is worthy of it.
Yep. That's pretty much it. So my final thought, kind of leading into Pride Night, is just how important Pride Night is. Understand that, and this kind of goes one of those things where a lot of people don't really recognize why we recognize Pride Night, but a lot of the individuals in the LGBTQ plus community are still ostracized in our society. They're disowned by family,
and it's
a lot of them
better.
A lot of them still have a tough time, and it's kind of up to us individually. We need to reflect the change that we want to see. This is America. This is a country that should only see people based on their character, not any other value that they may have. It's based on your character is the respect you get in this country. And that's kind of how we should be treated. Same thing with the golden rule: treat others how you want to be treated. So, people want to be treated with dignity and respect. If you want to be treated with dignity and respect, you should treat everybody else with dignity and respect. So, just kind of one of those facts from history that kind of goes to show why, Pride Month is important and why it's important to recognize it. It's definitely one of those things where it's I don't want to intermingle it with like a Black Lives Matter, but it's just a reminder of, hey, yeah, they're people too, and they also deserve respect as well. Any group, well, I'm not going to say any group, but most groups, especially people that are in a group not by their choice. But Alan Turing was was a British man that broke the Enigma code for during World War II. The Enigma machine was the machine that the Nazis would send their encoded messages on. This man broke that code, so the Allies were able to read just about every transmission that the Nazis were sending each other during World War II, and really went a long way into the success and into winning World War II for the Allies. Unfortunately, when he went back to Great Britain after the war, he was chemically castrated by the British state just for being gay, because that was their policy back then. And 69 years ago today, he killed himself because he was not allowed to be himself after being a war hero. And in this country, we have a lot of war heroes that have fought wars for us as well on other soil that just so happen to be in the LGBTQ plus community. So those people deserve your respect. And everybody does, and we should all work for supporting each other. Don't mean to go out on a low note, but hey, it is what it is. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Love each other, respect each other. What's
Thank
life
you,
without
Robert.
goals?
Thank you, Rafa. Thank you, Royce.